Oh,
We're live.
We are live.
Happy
Hello.
Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Nerd Talk.
Hello.
Today we'll be talking about the Avengers, not the Revengers. We won't be.
We are. I watched X-Men.
What? What's that? We're not going to be talking about the Polar Express. We're going to be talking about the Avengers.
Kenzie,
Haha.
are you okay with that?
All right. So.
Kenzie's not laughing. Look at her.
What? Sorry, I was on a totally different thing.
Okay, we said we're not going to talk about Polar Express. La la la.
Yeah. I'm so sorry to everyone who loves Polar Express.
Okay.
I can't do it.
Okay. Well, we all watched Avengers together last week.
We
That
did.
was so much fun.
So we have a lot to talk about.
I got to get a better setup because I think I was getting a lot of feedback because when we were doing it, we had great time listening to everything. But when the music was on, everything got very weird.
Yeah. I
We
agree.
have to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But it was really fun. We got to all watch it together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We
And
set it up so we could relax on our
Angela sort of watched it.
I watched it.
Yeah, right.
and
Witnesses.
and we went off
No.
to
Witnesses.
find yogurt.
Did she get up in the middle of it and go get snacks and not
Yes.
even?
I got up one time to get a yogurt because
No.
I was hungry.
But you were looking at your phone too.
No.
Let's do a little chat.
Chat.
I didn't see her
Yeah.
on her phone, but I definitely saw her up at the fridge.
Yeah. Pam was first. Mike Wheeler said that's not fair. I guess he doesn't like being second. Mike Wheeler. Christine Hickman. Hello.
Yeah, he erased Kenzie's
the adventure.
the other day.
Hello.
What? I didn't re- I'm like
Hello, Garrett. Monarch Moment. Hello, Tina. Tina, Garrett, Mike Wheeler. Monarch Moment. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Wow, I'm just going here. Christine Hickman.
Griswold.
Danny.
Family vacay. Hello.
Jeff Resendez, welcome
Jeff
in.
Resendez.
Danny, big Disney fan, welcome in.
Super fluffy. So fluffy.
Super Fluffy Yeti.
stand you down.
Redemption Tech, that's just Zach.
Hello. Redemption Tech.
And I think we're all caught up. So welcome in, everybody.
Lady Jamers.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
That's here.
Hello.
That's her. Oh, Jamie. Hello, Jamie. Yeah, so we all watched Avengers last week. We'll go around. We'll start with you. What did you think? Then we'll go to Russ.
Okay.
Kenzie. What did you think?
First of all, I loved watching it with all my friends because Russ got a very cool setup so we could all watch it together. I also like the fact that I could ask questions here and there. Did I ask a lot of questions?
No.
No, actually, no,
Many.
you didn't. You were pretty good.
And I didn't ask a lot of questions. I liked it. I feel like you guys are at an advantage. Do you know why?
Because
you
we've
already
watched them
know
before.
who a lot of those people are. Like,
Yeah.
I got to see Hawkeye, right? He was in it, but it was like,
He was in Thor.
he
just for a little
was
bit.
just for a second.
Yeah.
And then, but there were some other people in this movie too that I couldn't quite, I mean, even, I'm trying to think.
Black Widow.
Even Kenzie, you said you didn't like Loki as much. In this
I like Loki better in later movies. I'm not a fan of Loki in this movie.
Yeah.
But you can already associate that. So I know just from watching it, I really like him. But I might like him better later.
Dad, if you're gonna cough, don't do it in the one that has the mic.
Oh, there you go.
Or at least mute myself.
Yeah.
Ugh. Sorry, guys. It's left over.
But there was a lot going on. I was so confused about Hulk because does he not recognize people when he's in Hulk mode? Because he was going after everyone.
You asked this question while we were watching.
I was gonna say we'll talk about that a little bit because I've got some things about Hulk to discuss. But yeah.
Okay, so that was me. That was
All right.
me.
Before we go to Russ, I just want to welcome in Pearl. Welcome in, Pearl.
Hey.
Hey. Russ, what's your 2 cents on it?
Well, hold on. Before we get anywhere, I just want to say, as of yesterday's stream, when you were driving home from Disney. I really, really do apologize for timing somebody out. I did not know that I did that. I must have hit it on my phone right as I was putting it down. So I know they're not in here, but autism, was it the
They said
autism?
autism. Yeah.
I apologize severely. I did not
Now they're
mean
never
to.
coming back, Tracy.
Oh,
We
I
did
felt.
drop a sub after that was over, so that's all right.
I
No,
really didn't.
it was fine. We told them. It was fine.
Tim
So-
Pruitt, welcome in.
I just wanted to make sure that people know that I'm not an idiot all the time, but just some of the time.
Sometimes.
Just
You
sometimes.
just play one on screen. No.
Yeah,
I
I just
deleted your phone.
This is a character. He's not actually my dad. He's
trying to
the random person that lives in my house.
it's a good thing there was no video earlier today. I was in the pool cleaning it, and when I got out, Billy Joe said, "Just run around the yard, dry off." So,
And my mom proceeded to text me and say, "Come outside." So I come outside and she's like, "Do it." And then he does it again. And I was like,
You needed that on video.
"Oh no.
No?
Pearl says you're our favorite idiot, Tracy.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, now that that's out of the way, Russ, it's up to you.
Oh man, no, I enjoy Avengers. I like it for the fact that it introduces the main characters, as a team, which well, I'll get into that a little bit with the comic stuff, but I mean it's very close to the comics. It's very it tells several stories from the comics, which I can talk about, but I think it was very well done to start the MCU.
Yeah.
To basically start the ball rolling for the rest of it. And and I know Tracy's got something that I want him to talk about too, a little bit about the kind of the background of the way they wrote it, because it's not necessarily the original story that we're going to hear later. You and I were talking about this when we were watching the movie. And
Yeah.
But it just having trouble explaining what I'm trying to get across. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I like the fact that they brought Hulk into it the way they did, because really the Hulk is kind of the backbone of the story, which again he is in the comics the same way. But I love Mark Ruffalo. I like that they got him to play the Hulk this time.
He's a good Hulk.
And actually he was the second choice, which because they were going to have what's his name, Eric Bana, come back, but they couldn't do it with his. I guess they couldn't figure it out. Yeah,
not Eric Bana.
Whichever one the last one was.
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton. Yeah, they were going to have Edward Norton come back
because the Banya one.
Back.
The Banya one is totally. that one was totally. That one was totally not part of the MCU at all.
Right. Yeah. So Edward Norton. Yeah, they were originally going to have him come, but then he turned it down, or they couldn't get the contract figured out, so they got Mark Ruffalo. And I just think that especially him and Tony Stark just play off each other so well. They all do. They all just play off each other so well. And it's just the beginning, because as these film these movies, they become more close. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoy it. So, Tracy?
It's a great movie. Just the scene, how they all come together. It also shows you that things are done not properly, or how they got that team to come together. Obviously, Nick Fury has to bend the truth a little bit to kind of force that hand. And we got that. I think we even had a question from Angela during watching the movie, and I'm like, it'll get explained somewhere down the line. Great job altogether. As far as what I know, I'm not a big comic book guy. I mean, I don't read a lot of the graphic novels. I do know that they brought in a lot of stuff from some of the animation that they have out there. And they've changed a little bit of it. I mean, obviously, if you've read any of it or seen any of the animation in the past, Ant-Man was part of the original Ant-Man was part of the Avengers.
Yep.
There's a reason why he's not there. It wasn't in it wasn't in the universe yet.
Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp both.
Right. And so how they handle bringing everybody in and focusing on those 6 original Avengers for the Marvel 616 universe, and that's exactly what we're in. We're in the 616 universe. Was great. And I love the fact that Hawkeye and Black Widow have no superpowers. They don't have a super serum, and they held their own in this movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they even talk about that.
Yeah.
Somewhere, you know, that it's hard for them to keep up.
The bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Hey, Sheree.
I just want to welcome in
Welcome in, Sarah Girl.
326. I gotta say, this was actually the first movie that I did see. I did not watch Iron Man way back when these movies were coming out. I did not see Iron Man. I did not see Captain America. I did not see Thor before I saw this movie. And I thought the way they presented it, you really didn't need all those backstories. It was nice to have, but you could have just jumped in right at the Avengers and you knew what was happening as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So was there a little
I
bit?
guess I'm done talking.
No, I
Okay,
was.
go ahead.
But just going off
Not
of
me.
what you said, like I noticed there was a little bit of tension between Iron Man and Captain America. Would you not have understood that if you didn't see the prequels?
No, I think realistically, because this is the first time these two characters ever meet. You know, when you're looking at it before the Avengers, Steve Rogers, this would happen to take place right pretty much after the end of Steve Rogers, the first Avenger movie. This would be the first movie after in a sequence, like how we had just watched it.
Because the end credits scene for Captain America is the scene where Nick Fury comes up to him in this movie.
In the box when he's boxing and he's in a heavy bag.
Right.
What were you saying, Dad? You were continuing.
I don't remember.
Go ahead, keep going, Jeff. I'm sorry. I
totally lost my train of thought.
Well, I mean, Captain America and Iron Man have never really clicked.
But
they never had.
I remember I knew about Captain America because of his dad always talking about
he
him.
didn't like him or something. Like he went in like it's almost like
No, his dad really idolized Captain America.
Oh, okay.
And he thought at this point he wasn't showing him much love at all. You know.
Got it.
Right. He thought he liked Captain America more than he liked him.
Got it.
You will learn some more of that backstory throughout as the movies go.
Okay.
More things are revealed.
Yeah.
From the past.
Especially when we get to Civil War.
Okay. Because even though, since I've just been watching it, Iron Man was my first movie, but for some reason, even though I've seen other ones, Thor, Captain America, I still like Iron Man the best. So far.
Civil War is in a few movies, I believe.
Yeah, Pam, Civil War is not for a little while. We've got several movies ahead of that.
Civil War comes after the second Avengers movie, so
it's in phase 3.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's after. I'm excited for Ultron. I love Age of Ultron.
That'll be the next Avengers.
I think that's my favorite Avengers, just in general, movie.
Yeah.
Is Age of Ultron.
I just want to say hi, Noah. Hi, Amy. I left my captain. I left Chris Evans in Florida, Noah. So
he borrowed his shirt though.
Yeah.
What's Ultron? Is that coming out? That hasn't been released yet?
No,
no.
Yeah. Oh, it's
and I just said that's my favorite Avengers movie.
That'll be the second Avengers movie, Angie.
Tracy.
But I know there are some new movies coming out. I saw it on.
There are.
Yeah.
You're killing Dad.
So let's talk about the introduction of extraterrestrials in this movie. Not that Nick Fury hasn't seen this before, but this is new to everybody else.
But realistically, when this was filmed, the character Nick Fury might have had an idea about it. I mean, they filled in some of those gaps earlier on, but when this was filmed, it was all kind of new. Because when you look back at it, and he says why, the whole weapons program that they were working on, because Thor and Loki came down to a little town in New Mexico and had a spat.
Yeah.
Well, looking back at it now, when what we know of the whole universe, yes, he's already had the Avengers initiative because he knows that there's extraterrestrials out there.
Yeah.
Did they have that idea? It's almost, I want to say it's just kind of like when J.K. Rowling was writing her Harry Potter novels. She named characters or put characters in, and she went back and either expounded on those characters or made something to fit those characters, or even our Star Wars movies. Rogue One fills in a gap that was never explained in any of the Star Wars universe, and why there was a flaw where a little exhaust port could take down a whole Death Star. Somebody came along and put in that movie and said, we'll explain it. So I think when they're looking at it, it's such a fluid way of approaching the universe that they can say,
Jeff, and what's happening?
Listen, can you hear it?
Is that an ice cream?
Ice cream truck.
That's it. Stream's over.
Stream's over. Go for ice cream.
Sorry. We'll see y'all later. No. Hey, I just want to say, in the chat, if you guys have any questions too, just make sure
please.
Chat answered about the movie.
Noah said, "Who is Ultron?" And then Lady Jamer says, "Why is Ultron?"
Yeah.
I'll do you one better.
Why
is Gamora?
Oh gosh.
Did they run and get ice cream?
No, they're fine. We don't need ice cream.
He was going so fast for an ice cream truck.
I know, right?
So they just speed by. They don't give you a chance.
No,
I know. He was going pretty. Speed limit's in neighborhoods 15 miles an hour, and he was going way over that.
We live on a main road, so anytime they're on our road, they don't stop because there's a chance that you could get hit. So
yeah.
Christine,
around
Captain Marvel.
That's late.
That's kind of where Tracy was touching on, and again,
Yeah.
Angie hasn't got there yet because she's not seen Captain Marvel, but that movie takes place as kind of a backstory of Nick Fury, so that'll be back.
Really?
That'll be before all of this other stuff is happening.
The same thing with the Black Widow movie coming out. The same thing with the Black Widow movie coming out. The Black Widow movie, as of the last movie that was released, she's no longer coming back in any future movies. So the Black Widow movie, solo movie, is going to take place somewhere inside of that current universe that we've already watched,
right?
Which will expound on some of her storyline.
So why is she not coming back in any future movies?
You'll see. Make it blue. We are currently going in order of release. You can go in chronological order, but that is a little more.
It's a little bit tough because
weird.
the way we looked at it when we decided which way do we want to go. Do we want to go in chronological order, or do we want to go in release order? The problem comes down with timeline order would be that
movies between movies.
There's some movies coming out in the future that's going to be way back in time.
Really?
Yes, when you're talking Eternals, when you're talking the Eternal movies coming out, the Eternal movies are coming out in a year or two, and that's going to deal with the beginning of the Infinity Stones and all that stuff. So you're talking
Captain Marvel.
Well before Captain Marvel.
Okay, so can I go ahead?
Because if you're currently going to go in chronological order, Captain Marvel, I believe, is going to be your very first movie.
Right. Captain Marvel would be the first.
Captain Marvel.
Right now.
Captain America would be your first movie.
No.
Yeah.
Because it's set in the 40s.
Yeah, because it's in the 40s, and then Captain Marvel is in the 70s.
Yeah. Okay. So you'd go.
Whoa. Captain Marvel in the 70s. Come on, bro.
What?
90s.
Is it
We're
90s?
not that old.
Okay. Was it 90s? I couldn't remember. That's not one of my favorite movies, so I've only watched it once.
So can I ask a question just real quick, and then we can jump back? So the last movie that just came out, and I know people died and stuff like that, Are there going to be any other ones after that with ones that lived, or you think that was
Yes.
just the end of it, and from now on they'll just keep going backward?
No, they're going to be going phase 4. So you're
it's 1990s.
So you're gonna end the Avengers with Infinity War.
Okay.
Endgame.
Or an Endgame, yeah.
Well, pretty much everybody's dead at this point. So.
Yeah, you're gonna end that set of characters.
Okay.
And then move on to new characters.
Got it.
So, but again, we'll get way there. We'll get there along. Way far away.
Just be patient.
So,
okay.
But yeah,
I'm sorry,
so we were
Pam,
talking about
confusing you.
The Chitauri, right, and the aliens.
Huh?
The fact that the aliens were involved now.
Right.
That's kind of where we started. We started talking about
alien life forms, Alfs, to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What do you think about that? Like, they had superior weapons. They had those giant flying worms things.
Yep.
You know, and there was an army of how many guys defeated these, and one nuclear weapon. So.
Yeah.
So in the comics, there are there's a lot of talk about and a lot of story about the Skrulls, and the Skrulls are an alien race that are they're described as like the nervous system of the universe, to where they basically they go and they destroy and get rid of anything that is not like orderly, or like they get rid of free will, because like they want to control everything. And so and this is where Thanos comes into play at the very, very end, where he has this plan. We don't know what that plan necessarily is yet, you know, because he's just, you know, all we see him is smiling at the end, but to where he's using the Chitauri or the Skrull, which they're not really the Skrull, but that's what what they were based on, was the Skrull for the movie. And
I'm so sorry for interrupting you. I'm gonna link a thing on how to watch it in release order.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Link it.
Yeah, there's all kinds of like timelines and things.
Yep. I'm apologize for interrupting you.
That will help you. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of where, you know, so these aliens have always been there as part of the Marvel storyline. And that, you know, that's where they come from. So I'm just trying to give a little bit of backstory there. So
there's aliens? I never knew.
Thanks, Noah, for putting that on there too.
And Kenzie.
Noah and Kenzie.
Two different options.
Two different options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the one that I linked has both versions of going in orders. So we've got a very large list of movies that are coming out in phase 4.
Oh, really?
And shows on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the shows on Disney Plus are going to take.
So next up, we have Black Widow,
which takes place inside these phases.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Spider-Man 3, Thor: Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2, Ant-Man 3, Black Panther 2, Blade. What's Blade?
Blade.
Ooh, they're bringing vampires in.
Vampire movie.
And that's Marvel?
Are you having a hot flash, Tracy?
Yeah, I'm
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, The Fantastic Four, and Untitled Mutants movie.
Yep.
So we've got some interesting stuff coming up.
Just trying to get a cross breeze here.
Blade has had movies out before.
Yes, that was a
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes, yes.
They're bringing vampires in. Cool.
Yeah. Yep. Vampires and magic.
I'm looking forward to, you know, them doing other stuff.
Do these vampires sparkle? That's all we want to know.
I hope not. The only thing I don't like about Twilight. And, you know, Kristen Stewart's acting in general. But
I would like to see some Deadpool in the MCU myself.
Yeah.
But I guess what they're
doubt that's
saying.
going to happen.
Well, I guess what they're saying is they're going to continue releasing Deadpool under the 20th Century Fox headline, which they own. But because the Deadpool and how he does his movies,
How rated R he is.
they're not going to be released inside the Disney universe
No.
or the MCU universe because they just don't. Because it doesn't fit their algorithm.
Yeah. No, I understand. I didn't want to go on a tangent either. I just want.
I'm looking forward to, well, this is my idea, is that I have my movie journal, and I thought it would be cool to do a release order movie journal thing for Marvel. And I was going to start that once we started this, but I also haven't gotten the chance to, get a new journal and start on that kind of stuff because I've had so much going on with school. But I think that would be cool to do.
Yeah.
At some point. Because, we have all of these movies coming out in the next year or so.
Right.
Next year or two.
Yeah.
So why don't we go around and why don't we discuss our favorite? Maybe Russ can talk about the Hulk in your question earlier, but who was your favorite hero in this movie as far as the Avengers goes? Which one of them stood out?
I'll let everybody else go first. I want to think about
because she doesn't remember their names.
Not
So give her some names.
I'm trying to remember even what happened in there, but yeah.
Maybe we should try doing our group watchings like on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
So it's not so early in the week.
So much has happened between then. I can't even tell you. You know what I mean? Like so much.
Yeah.
My head, like my brain can't maintain all of it.
They were fighting the Chitauri. There was arrows.
I'm waiting for it to ask
Chitauri. I was going to say it kind of all revolves around the Tesseract.
Yeah.
The cube. The
cube
blue
thing, the cosmic cube.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's where it starts, where Loki comes in with Hawkeye. Well, he takes over Hawkeye to steal the Tesseract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what brings Shield into the fight. And all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's why they have to bring in the Avengers to fight off Loki.
Right.
Lady Jane was
which is the storyline from the comics. So.
Yeah, because Loki got so many people on his side, because he kind of like hypnotized them or whatever he did.
Well,
right?
he only hypnotized a few of them, and then the rest of the people who were working for them are just people who don't like S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
The Hydra.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's some backstory there too. And actually there's a deleted scene where Hawkeye is talking about how he's recruiting people who don't like S.H.I.E.L.D.
I love Marvel.
And that's part of his backstory as well, because he used to be a criminal.
Right.
So he still has those ties.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to remember, because wasn't Loki the one that actually made Hulk mad or enough that he turned into the Hulk?
He was trying
he kind of instigated him.
He was trying to get all the Avengers to turn on each other.
Yeah.
In the comic storyline, Loki comes to Earth to get revenge on Thor. And
because he knows how much Thor loves Earth.
Yes. So he comes to get revenge on Thor. And he uses Hulk because Hulk is basically the most powerful being on Earth at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he tries to control Hulk to destroy the rest of the Avengers. Now they are not the Avengers yet in the first couple books, but he tries to use him as a weapon, and then they have to come together in order to stop the Hulk first, and then also stop Loki.
Right.
And so that's where they all kind of become the Avengers. Now it takes a long time for them to become a team.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, they're all these personalities that they work alone. They're not really team players,
Right.
And that's kind of where it was in the movie, to where they're all at each other and getting on each other's nerves and thinking that I know the better way to do it, know, and and that's where a lot of that tension between Cap and Tony comes in.
Right.
because Tony's just this. He thinks that he should be the one in charge, but they bring Cap in because he's the he's the soldier. He's the one who has these. He knows how to do this.
Right.
He knows how to fight.
Yeah.
So it's so there's all this tension there, but that's what makes them come together and become a great team. So.
Mhm.
And there's even, I think there's a line with Maria Hill where she says something about these are the worst people in the world that you want in the same room together, but yet they came together to save the world.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I did like that part when Hulk picked up Loki and kind of.
Puny God.
I love that part.
So here's a little trivia thing for you, or something you might not know. I call this my my Avery point because Avery's usually the one coming in here with those. But but did you know that Hulk was voiced? Anytime he growls or roars or anything like that, that's Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, really?
He does the voices for. He does. In fact, I just learned this last night that Lou Ferrigno does all of the voice work for all Incredible Hulk stuff, like ever. Like he does all the animated stuff. He does all the movies, anything that is not like an actual line.
Yeah.
Or I think they used him in the line, and then they also put Mark Ruffalo's voice over it as well. So
Yeah,
that's
pretty
it's
cool.
cool how they used Lou Ferrigno as the original Hulk who played him in the 70s and. But
interesting.
Yeah. So how about you? What's your favorite part?
What's my favorite part?
Well, what were we talking
Favorite
about?
character.
Favorite character.
Character.
Character that.
I just think they don't have Hulk. They really don't stand a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Loki was given Thor a good fighting match, which is kind of questionable.
Right.
Thor's so powerful. Just throw some lightning down on Loki, fry him up a little bit, But Hulk is so much more powerful than. I mean, he's just taking out the Chitauri one by one. He's smashing them. He's taking down those giant worm things.
Yeah, that was cool.
And that part where Tony's like, "We have a Hulk." Like,
that's what I was going to say. Like, Loki's like, "Well, I have this army who's going to destroy, who can overpower you." And it's like, "Well, we have a Hulk. We don't care."
Yeah.
And that's what I say. I think that he's become the central part of the entire movie.
Right.
Everything kind of centralizes around him in the storyline. So,
Yeah.
What about you, Dad? Who's your favorite character?
Well, see, I'm gonna have to go with Team Cap here. He was the same throughout the whole movie, and then when it came time for the fighting, he was looking out and he was calling it.
Saying that little helmet thing, though.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I would say if they didn't abuse Hawkeye in the beginning of this movie, Hawkeye would be my favorite. But I think they misused Hawkeye's part for the mind control and then what he did on Shield. But Team Cap, man, he was straight on right from the beginning. He's my favorite.
I like Cap too because he's a man at a time, but yet he's right there and ready to go. No matter what.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think they come down, start blasting with those blasters. Cap doesn't really stand a chance. He's human. He's brave.
Well, and again, he even kind of says that it's like, well, I've not done this before.
Yeah,
but I'm still gonna fight.
How much he is. Anyway.
Ooh, earthquake.
Well, obviously, I'm Team Hulk. He's my favorite of the group as far as anyway. I mean, he's always been one of my favorites. But I mean, Captain America is still my favorite of the Avengers. But for this movie, Hulk is my favorite. So
Why don't you address Angela's question about, because Hulk's just, when he's on the helicopter
Helicarrier.
destroying everything, he's going after Black Widow, but then when he's in New York and he sees them all there, he seems to realize he can control it and he's his own person, but yet he still punches Thor.
Yeah. Well, and he punches Thor on purpose.
Yeah.
All right.
I love that part.
Here's, and it's not part of the MCU. It's not part of the MCU universe. There's a animation. It's actually a current animation. You can find it on Disney Plus. It's Thor versus Hulk. And what if you've watched this, and what it does is Loki, and this is nothing to do with the movies, nothing to do with what we're talking about as far as, but it gives you some kind of idea of what's going on with the Hulk. Loki and somebody else takes Bruce Banner out of the Hulk, and they release the Hulk on Asgard. Without Bruce Banner, there's no holding the Hulk back. There's nothing that could stop him, because the Hulk by himself is just pure rage, pure anger, pure nothing will stop him. He'll go until everything is destroyed. What holds him back is that little bit of Bruce Banner. Even though while in Hulk form he doesn't have control of the Hulk, that Hulk has some piece of Bruce Banner that holds him somewhat back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So while he can fight as a team later, I don't know how they explain that realistically in this movie, because on the helicarrier he goes nuts.
Yeah.
In the city he becomes part of the team. Does he learn a little bit? I don't know. I mean, you see it in the future movies where, the longer the Hulk is the Hulk, the more intelligence, the more
Banner comes out.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You'll see that in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh.
In the comics, the original Hulk story was only 6 books, and then they ended the Hulk because he was just a side character that they just came up with just on a whim. And Stan Lee, they just came up with him thinking that he would be just a side character, and then they never really used him much. But then he became such a pop culture icon with college kids that they brought him back.
Really?
And that's when they started developing his storyline. Because in the 6 books that you first read, he's exposed to gamma radiation during an explosion of a gamma bomb.
Uh-huh.
So he's not really a scientist. I mean, he's a scientist, but he's not looking for any kind of thing that he's trying to control anger or strength.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little bit later, like within 4, I think in book 4, he actually gets rid of the Hulk and becomes Banner again. But then, in order to be able to fight another evil that's coming in, he brings the Hulk back, and he can control the Hulk. So, so that storyline is kind of, that original story of his origin is so quick that there's really not any good answer.
Okay.
And over the years, they've changed the story in order to make it work for what they're trying to tell the story for.
Right.
For the movie, I would say, and again, this is just my opinion, but for the movie, I would say, he knows that he's the Hulk. And again, if you go back to the 1970s TV show, which I'm watching right now, I'm on season 2.
Really?
He doesn't even realize that he is the Hulk at first.
Right.
He just blacks out and doesn't have a clue what's going on.
So it's a Jekyll and
He wakes
Hyde
up and he's half
situation?
naked and he doesn't know what's going on. So, but he knows he's the Hulk at this point. He knows, and that's why he's going to hide. He's going, he went to India to hide, and that's why Black Widow had to come get him. So he knows that when he gets angry, he becomes the Hulk, and it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
So he does not want the Hulk to come out. And that's where later on in the movie, when he's on the helicarrier, he's joking about, oh yeah, you put me in this, in this tin can, and there's going to be trouble, and it's why they created the cell,
Yeah.
for in case something were to happen, they could throw Banner in there for
I don't think that cell would have held Banner.
I don't think so either.
No.
But
Because-
that was their plan.
Because when the Hulk gets angry, if you look at the Ang Lee Hulk, which has nothing to do with the universe either, it actually has a better description of what happens when the Hulk gets angry, he just gets more angry.
Yes.
You can't stop
And
him.
the more angry he gets, the stronger he gets.
The stronger, the bigger, the more powerful he becomes, because that's just the way he is. Now, if you watch the end of the Incredible Hulk, which we skipped because we didn't consider it part of this universe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it is, but we skipped it. Ed Norton's character of Banner at the end of the movie opens his eyes and they become green. That's the clue that Banner has now controlled the change. Sorry, Kens, go ahead.
No, okay, make it blue. I watch almost everything with closed captions, so it is very accurate.
Yeah.
When we were watching it, I texted Russ and I was like, "Hey, can we have closed captioning on? Because I prefer to have closed captioning. I don't think I'm losing my hearing, but sometimes I have difficulty with stuff.
I had a hard time. I'm glad you said that, Kenzie, because I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer closed captioning with everything that I watch, so it is very accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, Noah.
Have a good.
Going back to Hulk. So when he falls from the carrier, because he jumps out onto the plane and destroys the plane, and then he falls back to Earth. Well, and he lands. Well, one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is the security guard.
Yes.
That is basically telling him, and for whatever reason, this guy knows what's going on. He knows what's going on with Bruce, and he knows what he's dealing with, and he tells him exactly what he needs to do. Because, and in fact, there's a deleted scene that's even better because it extends that scene. But he basically is saying, you either have a choice. You can run away, and continue to run, or you can embrace this power that you have, control it, and use it for good.
Mhm.
And that's where I feel like he understands, okay, well, I can control this, and I'm going to go help the rest of my friends and help save, help stop this. And because that's when, he goes back, and the scene where he gets, he drives up on the motorcycle and they're standing there, thinking, okay, well, what are we going to do now? And the big worm guy's coming, the big worm thing's coming at him, and Cap's like, well, don't you think it's time to get angry? And my favorite line,
that is my favorite line in the whole movie, even more than
I'm always angry. I'm always angry. And he turns around and in like that, he's Hulk again. So, in a way, I think he can control when he becomes the Hulk. Now, he may or may not have as much control over himself as Bruce when he is the Hulk, but he can control. And also in later movies, there's a little bit of a joke of how they make him become Bruce again.
And that was that was kind of made up to give that whole
right.
That was a
and then that becomes a joke later on, and I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Getting low, guy.
Yeah, the sun's getting real low, But
Stop saying that.
We're talking about.
Sun's getting low.
That's what I feel as far as how Hulk is. I mean, his story arc in this movie is very quick because they kind of have to make it quick. Because you don't have the time to make, to understand the science of it and and all of that kind of junk. But if you know who the Hulk is, he's Hulk smash, and that's all you need to know.
I love the bloopers from the scene where he comes up with his motorcycle. He turns around, he's like, nope, and then he just runs.
Yeah, you guys are on your own.
Bye.
Yeah, you need to go back and watch the extended stuff, Angie, on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
There's extra scenes and things that somewhat help explain, but not really. That it's not necessary.
Yeah.
But there are some good stuff, and there's a good blooper reel.
Okay.
So
check it out, maybe.
But
I think it's funny how Hulk's pants always seem to grow
With his body.
With his body type, no matter how big he gets.
His
Yep.
shirt disappears, but the pants stay.
Hey, listen.
Like that.
What's the alternative, Jeff?
Yeah.
What's the alternative? Do
Not a
you really
good
want
one.
to see
Tell
the
you what the
alternative?
alternative.
Did you know that originally they were just going to have him be naked?
Oh my god.
Exactly. What's the alternative, Jeff? So he's Arnold Schwarzenegger, big muscle, small waist. That's the secret behind Arnold Schwarzenegger for Mr. Universe, you know.
Yeah.
I'm busting out all my pants all seem to be shrinking for some reason lately.
That's because you're getting angry.
I'm fitting myself in. I'm squishing myself in. How much time do we have left? Okay.
I never said my
15
Hulk
minutes.
character.
The Avengers end up winning. Tony Stark flies the nuclear weapon.
I was going to say, Kinsey, you never did give your character.
No, I didn't.
Fredo!
That's because Jeff has been long-winded this whole time.
Patiently, I know who she's going to say. Go ahead.
Who am I gonna
Loki.
say, Ange?
I know you're not. You didn't like Loki in this
No.
one.
Out of the Avengers, the Hulk has always been like basically my favorite Avenger. I love Banner. I love all of his stuff. I really enjoyed it at the very beginning where they were basically like, "You're not here to be the Hulk. We want you here to be a scientist. We don't want.
Yeah.
We're not using you for the green guy."
Yeah.
Yes.
So I enjoyed that at the very beginning, but I think I really enjoy Hawkeye and those final battle scenes solely because he's just a dude with a bow and an arrow with a really good aim.
Yeah.
And he's an Avenger. Like, he's great, and I love everything that Hawkeye does throughout the movies. I've always loved Hawkeye. I think, trying to think, I mean, fighting wise, because I love all of them character wise. I can't really choose character wise, but fighting wise, I really love the way that Cap and Black Widow fight. Like, with the way that they team up and fight, and I think Cap is probably my favorite in this movie, just because he's not. I love when he's like, they're fine, that he's not lying to us, and then he goes and he does his own research, and he comes back and he's like, I'm tired of waiting for the computer to do the work for me. Like, I just love all of the characters in this, and I mean, Tony Stark is just. Tony's never been my 100% favorite. He's always frustrated me, but I think that's because he is such a complicated character.
Right.
So in this one, it's either Hawkeye or Cap. I love the Hulk in the later movies and stuff like that, especially in
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Ragnarok is the best Thor movie.
Okay. Is that coming up next?
It's coming.
No.
No,
No,
yeah,
No, you got to suffer through Dark World just like the rest of us, Ange. Just like the rest of us.
We got Iron Man 3 is next. So,
Oh, okay.
but
I think the
I
way
like
they
that one.
introduced Natasha in this film, they didn't introduce her, but they introduced her in this film where she's being interrogated, but she's actually the one doing the interrogation.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm working
That was
here.
brilliant. That was
And she
brilliant.
does that twice, in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does it in the beginning, the introduction of Natasha in
Yeah.
this movie, and then she does it again with Loki, where she's pretending or she's doing that she's using some of the truth to get the information that she needs out of Loki. Because what does she find out?
Amazing interrogator.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing. I always loved Natasha. I feel like morally, Natasha's always been my favorite. Because she's always kind of done, like, she realizes what her mistakes are, and she has a lot of things in her past, and her main goal is to be a better person than she was. And that's what I really like about her.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to clean the slate.
Colson calls her, so we need you to bring the big guy in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Colson's just holding on while he's just going like on hold while she's taking care of the three guys.
Yeah, I love that.
It's just brilliant. Just
The
brilliant.
ease of which she beats the crap out of these guys. Like, and I also love when when the phone rings and the guy's like, "It's for her." And what?
That was funny.
We have an F-16 9 miles out. Well, you're surrounded. You know. Put her up. Put the lady on the phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also want to talk about Coulson because Phil Coulson has become the glue that has kind of held the MCU together, to this point, and he became a fan favorite to this point. Tracy?
Phil Coulson, not Phil Collins.
Yeah, Phil Coulson.
Coulson.
Oopsie.
You said Collins.
But Coulson obviously, Fury uses Coulson's death as a push, to get them to become the Avengers, and actually his character is created from another character in the comics, but who's a minor character, but same similar storyline. But Coulson becomes such a major part, and he also becomes a part of the story later throughout Marvel's the Shield
TV version.
as the TV version stuff. But up to this point, he is now the reason why they all want to fight together. And so he's become just a major character. So I just think it was neat.
Welcome in, Tina McNeil. Welcome in, Emily, LSU mom. So did Coulson die in this movie or not?
So do you want me to spoil it or not?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. So Coulson dies in this movie, and according to what we know, he is dead. Well, if you go back then to the beginning of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you find out that S.H.I.E.L.D. is able to revive him using alien technology, using the Kree, which is a alien race that you find out about in Captain Marvel.
Okay.
And that's actually kind of where a lot of the technology comes from that S.H.I.E.L.D. uses is from the Kree. And some even that Tony Stark has back engineered in order to use some of his technology and things, the weapons and stuff.
Right.
And so again, the alien presence of things has always been there. It's just we're just now hearing about it. And so so the aliens from other worlds and things from other worlds, and you also hear about it when we get to Guardians of the Galaxy, because one of those main characters was abducted by aliens. And so you'll understand, kind of where we get there. But so there's always been an alien presence in the comics and in the universe. So yeah.
I cannot wait till you have to watch Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
And that's
you'll love it. You'll love it.
The Kree comes in. The very first time you come with the Kree or you hear the Kree is actually in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on the TV version. The first time you hear it in the movie version is in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot better thought out and explained in Captain Marvel, which I found it weird when I was watching Captain Marvel, because when you watch Guardians of the Galaxy and you see about the Kree being, bad people, and then Captain Marvel's a Kree, and then you're kind of like, because you know what's supposed to happen in the comic books, and the MCU has shown that they can just flap everything upside down and make it better for us. So
what I'm excited for Ange to watch is Doctor Strange.
Oh my goodness. We'll definitely watch that together. But then
I can't wait.
So here's the thing. Are there characters that overlap?
Yes.
Like with Doctor Strange, with Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
so from here on, you'll meet more and more new characters.
Yeah.
And then they'll start showing up in more movies.
And they'll start showing up together. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
So, because
and Rockin' Robin
in the comic books, the Avengers is like an infinite amount of characters. Like people come and go like all the time, and it gets it's usually Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. Those are the three main characters, but then the rest of them are all they're surrounded by all these other people.
Right.
And like I say, when we get into Ant-Man and the Wasp, they were originally part of the original team. Namor, who hasn't even been introduced yet, was a huge part of the Avengers.
We never. I mean, we basically. I mean, this is the problem with the Avengers, and compared to what we've done in the last couple of streams, was we only talked about one kind of character. When you're talking about the Avengers, it's a lot more characters, a lot more things to develop out. So, in an hour stream, we could probably go for 2 hours on the Avengers alone because we haven't hit our favorite our favorite scene. Our favorite.
Yeah, we should.
It is what it is. But I mean,
prepare for longer. Like when it comes to Age of Ultron.
Oh, we're gonna have to definitely, because here's the thing: the Avengers start with 6. It only gets bigger as we go on. You know, you're talking much more characters, and I think when you're looking at MCU as a whole, they had to do something. They had to kill off some characters or let some characters go because the payroll. I mean, just think of the business side of this. The payroll is going to get huge.
Yeah.
When you're talking Robert Downey Jr. is asking for how much per movie, how much is Chris Evans going to? Now, I think what some of these actors don't fail to realize, and just like TV actors, what happens with TV actors when they jump to the movies? Why are they so popular? Because everybody sees them every week. Why is Robert Downey Jr. so popular? Because we see him in Marvel movies. Is he going to make that leap from Marvel movies into, because from what I understand, he went back and he filmed another new Sherlock. Is that going to transfer over? Dr. Dolittle, I think that he just remade Dr. Dolittle. It didn't do that well in the cinemas.
Yeah.
Granted, he has enough money now, and most of these actors who have asked for huge paydays has enough money banked that they could say, I never have to work again.
Yeah.
But
but Disney can also pull their star power to make those movies again. Make bigger movies.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, with like the TV guys, is it going to transfer over to the movies? Because what happens to a lot of TV actors? You don't see them every week on TV, especially like just an example. I love Ross Geller in Friends. He tried to take the transfer over to movies. He isn't doing that well in movies. The same thing with Topher Grace. Huh?
David Schwimmer?
Right.
David Schwimmer isn't doing that well. And he does a lot more independent movies. The same thing with Topher Grace in the 70s shows. Topher Grace was popular when he was on a 70s show. He went to movies, didn't do so well.
Right.
When you're outside of that public eye all the time, sometimes people forget or you're not as popular because you're no longer in those big blockbusters.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword.
And the way things are going in the world now, people can't go to the movies anymore.
Yeah.
So that may totally change the way we get movies now, and the way they make movies now. So who knows?
Yeah.
Welcome in, Jane and Travels.
So I mean,
I'm just excited.
And I think what we got 2 minutes. We might run over. And I think what Russ was talking about earlier, and I'm hoping I'm not kind of monopolizing the stream here. I think what you were saying is when they filmed this, I still don't think they had the Infinity Stones. They don't have the nothing was set out and planned.
Nope.
When they did the Infinity War and when they started setting up the Infinity War, that's when they came back and they said, oh, we have the perfect Tesseract. Because realistically, if Thanos, who is out there to collect all the Infinity Stones, is in possession of one of the Infinity Stones, which is in Loki's staff, which is the Mind Stone, if that's his goal is to collect all 6 stones, why would he give a stone to Loki to go to Earth with?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, and I kind of have a little bit of an answer there. I read something. Joss Whedon was given a lot of control over the writing of the Avengers and wrote part of the script. And they really didn't have, originally Loki was the big bad guy. They really didn't have anything to do with Thanos. But then last minute, he just said, he went to the powers that be and said, hey, well, why don't we use Thanos? And I think Joss Whedon had a somewhat of an idea what he wanted to do, but not necessarily. He didn't know anything about, he wasn't thinking about the Infinity Stones. He just knew he wanted to bring Thanos into it.
Right.
And so then the studio decided, okay, well, here's the best story we can use Thanos for. And they ran with it. And I think that's the best thing that ever happened was,
Absolutely. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. I think they really did a good job with bringing in. And that's why you could tell when you're talking about the Thanos scene at the end of this movie about the humans and the Earthlings. To battle with them is to court death.
Yeah.
And then he turns and he gives the sly smile.
Yeah.
Russ knows, as far as everybody else who has done any kind of background research, the original idea for Thanos and snapping half of life is to appease or to court death, which he was trying to take and date or get have a relationship with the female embodiment of death.
Yes.
So that's why you get that sly smile when his henchman says to battle them is to court death. Because at that time, they haven't thought out of those Infinity Stones. Because if they would have thought of the Infinity Stones, they wouldn't have had the Infinity Gauntlet in Thor's vault, or Odin's vault.
Yeah, Odin's vault.
Which is explained later in a couple movies. They go to show that there's some things that were, and how they kind of correct that as they go along. What we also haven't touched on, this is the first Marvel MCU that was helmed or was headed by Disney.
Yeah.
Disney had taken over right before they started filming the Avengers. Up to this
was
point.
Still produced by Paramount, but Disney owned the rights to it.
Correct.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So that's why you've seen some of the stuff that happened in early, like, again, when you look at Iron Man, there's no way Disney would have had a stripper pole and drinking on the airplane if it was a Disney movie.
True.
All right. That's why I think you see that big shift in Tony's attitude. Stuff like that from now on, they're going to follow the Disney code instead of the Marvel code as far as production wise. Now Disney owns them. From the Avengers on, they're owned by Disney.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So next week we're watching
Iron Man 3.
Awesome.
Which I hate, but that's okay.
I remember watching it in the drive-in theater.
Yeah.
That is my most vivid memory about it. I don't remember basically anything from the storyline. I really prefer group movies rather than singular movies, with the exception being Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
And then too, some of the later ones, the singular movies still use some of the other characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's gotten to the point where they're like, all right, how many cameos can we add here?
Well, and part of it too is that they're just all friends. It's like, hey, I want to be in this movie.
Yeah, and it's just like, hey, can my character hang out with that character in that movie?
I read something to where, like, during the filming of Avengers, either Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans would come, like they would just show up. Like when somebody else was filming a scene, if they were there, they would just show up. Like if they were in town, and then they would just hang out after filming or whatever, So it's just kind of cool because I think what's his name that played Coulson,
Collins.
Yeah, he was saying that like he got a text message from Chris Evans one night, and then all it said was "assemble."
Yeah,
which was code for, hey, we're hanging out at the bar tonight. So
I love the friendship that is created during like movies like this. I mean, I think with a lot of movies where you're around people for such a long, like the Harry Potter movies, those three were like best friends.
Yeah.
I mean, these people worked together for 10 years. I mean, time we get to the end, it's 10 years of movie making. So
Pam wanted to know all the movies we've done so far for Nerd Chat. So we've done
just for Marvel,
Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Avengers.
Yeah, Iron Man too.
And Iron Man.
And I think here Tina McNeil says, I suppose I should watch these movies. I haven't had a clue what you were talking about when you talk about Marvel or Avengers.
Yeah.
Totally.
Tina, you're not alone. Neither does Angela, and she's watched them.
I was gonna say, I wish there was a way that we could all watch them together.
Yeah.
But obviously, copyright, we can't show the movies.
I'm better now. I'm getting better now with it.
Hi, Rachel. Welcome in.
We have to cut down on the yogurt breaks.
I'm I had one yogurt.
Well, if you cut down on the yogurt breaks, at least Jeff would sit next to you during the movie.
Exactly.
I'm gonna give you a look into Angela's mind while she's watching this movie. This is Angela's mind thinking. I have no idea what's going on. Maybe if I go get yogurt, this movie will be over by the time I get back.
And then I'm like, I'm getting real drowsy. I'm gonna put my eyes open.
It's
Yeah.
getting getting sleepy.
Yeah.
The sun's going down.
It gets to the point where we're like, Ange, sit up. There's like 15 minutes left. And
What happened? What happened?
what did I miss?
Tony Stark
I
had
closed my eyes for a minute.
So
She actually said that.
earlier in the chat,
Did
Tim Pruitt, I love it. Tim Pruitt says that the problem is we're not eating too much ice cream. We're all getting angry. That's why our pants are getting too big. I love it.
But Ange literally at one point, she's like, I just closed my eyes for a minute.
I'm gonna watch it again.
Wow.
Okay,
Billy,
good.
hey, Billy closes her eyes all the time, and the movie's over when she wakes him up.
She will not watch it again.
Huh?
She will not watch it again.
I'm gonna watch
She will not watch it again. You couldn't sit through it the first time. Why would you watch it again?
so that I can,
Understand it better.
yeah, and I'll watch Iron Man 3.
This beer is really bugging me.
Don't pull it. Oh, is it loose? I think it's stuck to my head. Ow!
So
That's
maybe
just
we
bad.
should try and watch Iron Man 3 as a group, maybe on like Friday night or Saturday
Friday
night.
or Saturday or something like that.
Okay.
As long as Russ isn't doing an 8-hour Monopoly stream, we should be good.
We can't do this Friday night. We can talk about it afterwards, but at the we're off here. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't we go around? What do you got?
Around
Going,
with you.
what do you got going on, Russ?
So next Saturday we're gonna do first off 7:00 over on Team Marie Photography. Me and a couple other ladies. It's always I'm always just one of the girls.
You are.
We're gonna be making cupcakes.
It's fun.
Right?
Yeah, Abby. Yeah, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, Abby's gonna be on it too.
Yeah,
Is
you
that tonight?
Tonight at 7 o'clock
Tonight at 7.
on Team
Wow.
Marie Photography's channel, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I have to run to the store to get cupcake stuff. So
gotta do everything.
No, Jeff's gonna go and run and get cupcakes, and they're gonna pass it off as what they made. Because that's what I would do.
That's what I have.
We're gonna make them.
cupcakes with Team Marie. Okay.
You gotta remember.
And yeah, next
Is when-
Saturday, the plan is right now we're going to watch Artemis Fowl, which comes out this coming Friday on Disney Plus, and then we're going to talk about that. It's a new movie for Disney Plus. So
Russ. Yes.
You don't tell me anything.
We just talked about it.
we just talked about it on the stream.
He was messing around with screens. That's the problem. Russ.
So yeah, we're going to discuss Artemis Fowl. So Jeff, you can come do that too. And
Can I come?
yeah.
Damn, you beat me to it. I was just about to post it.
Oh. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do for a video yet. I've been doing so much live streaming that I don't have time to film,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like, let's do a hangout.
which is fine, which is fine. It's just, So
Right,
anyway, yeah,
question. Did you bake the cupcakes already?
I have not. No, we're going to do it on the stream.
Right.
We're
You're gonna bake cupcakes and then you're gonna frost cupcakes within the same time?
No, I'm not doing frosting.
About to say, because sometimes you gotta cook. I mean, if you're
Yeah, I
doing
know.
frosting, you got to do the cupcakes
No,
way
I've got a
before.
recipe without frosting. So
true.
So that's a cupcake that Kenzie would actually eat, because Kenzie, when she eats cupcakes, the only thing she eats is the frosting.
oh.
Oh my gosh.
You can mute him.
What do you
Yeah,
got?
other than that, it's just hanging out and causing trouble. So
All right.
Okay.
You're up next.
4:30 to 5:30 Mondays. I always do. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, but we'll figure something out. People normally give me ideas, and then we all hang out and
let's review the grits of sandpaper.
let's go through every single pair of ears that I've ever owned. But yeah, 4:30 to 5:30 on my channel. That's, I think, it.
What are
Right,
3, 2, 1 cupcakes, Mike Wheeler? Like 3, 2, 1? Like you shove it in your mouth?
Probably.
No, I think it's an actual bakery.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh. What do you got coming up, Dad?
What do I got coming up? I don't know. I'm supposed to do something Thursday. Thursday from 4 to 5. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be doing. I'd like to get a hold of somebody and see if I could do another get to know you from someone outside of the stream, outside of the
Dad,
community.
I have a fun idea.
If not, Kenzie will come up with something. I mean, I kind of winged it. Listen, I can't wing it. I can't wing it because Thursday, even though it was good, it was a winged, and I really didn't do enough research on top of that. And I think Kenzie and I were invited to be a guest on Gonzo's stream on Thursday also. So we may be popping in direct competitors with Diz Our Dream and Myers and the Mouse. But, open up 2 streams, watch us both.
It's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's impossible to find a time where people aren't streaming.
Exactly.
Now, in today's day and age, no, it's not, because everybody during this whole quarantine, there's been so many streamers, and there's just so many new people streaming in this community, which is fine because you don't have to be live, and people still can see your content even if they can come back to it. It's not like in network TV and you don't have a DVR.
Yeah.
YouTube's always there. We're always fun. You can watch this Nerd Talk, and if you're watching Nerd Talk after the fact, please give a like and a comment to Diz Our Dream how much of a nerd you are, because we're all nerds. All right, that's all I got.
Speak for yourself, Tracy.
I'm a dork and an idiot.
So, we have Myers and the Mouse. Tomorrow, I think I'm gonna. We actually did a vlog, a little vlog on the way home today. So we put together some video and some I don't know, what do you call it? Fast motion. Yeah, that video coming through the mountain.
Time lapse.
Delete all the swearing.
Was it upside down?
No, we were holding it. I was holding it this time.
I apologize.
That was amazing.
You didn't delete it, did you?
No, he didn't
No,
delete
it's still there.
it out there.
I think it's got more likes than anything else they've ever done.
Boomers.
I love that stream.
The camera was fine when I had it facing me, but when I turned it around, the gimbal was in the way, and then it turned black, and then
it went blank. It was just
I feel like I should have a fly swatter.
Oh goodness.
There's so many freaking flies in this area.
I have one in the studio, and then there's one in the living room.
And
we're seriously only like 25 feet away from each other.
Yeah. Russ, during your stream yesterday, it was a fly. And it grabbed fly swatter.
So whose channel is Iron Man 3 on?
Who's up next?
Yeah.
Tracy's.
Yeah, I'm in control.
All right. Iron Man 3.
Awful idea.
Next Sunday, 4 o'clock. Not 11 o'clock, like I posted.
That was amazing.
Yeah, kids are in the back seat. They're like, we just got a reminder. Diz Our Dream.
Here's the thing. I was putting
and then I text Sam.
You should have just gone live from the car.
Oh,
I was putting on our Saturday stream and this one Sunday stream at the same time. And it was late, and I was like on somebody else's stream trying to moderate, and I didn't know what I was doing. I should probably stay away from my keyboard. Hello, Candy Mom 15. Welcome in. We're getting
ready to wrap up.
off.
Yeah, we need to go ahead, Trace.
We love you all. Thank you for showing up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for
whether you
listening.
came, whether you're here or not, we'd still get together and talk nerd stuff. And it's just happy to have people to, join us and see our
Nerdiness.
Absolutely.
Keyboards and gimbals. Hey, Billy. Billy's in here.
Keyboards and gimbals and Jeff. Oh my.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Glorious.
I wanted to watch it back, and I'm like, there's no way I'm watching that back.
He won't watch
That's great.
it.
I'll watch it back. I'm so embarrassed to watch it back.
At least you were wearing pants.
I'm in a line at the dump laughing my butt off. So, and I'll explain. So I was taking garbage up to the dump because I took a bunch of stuff. So I went back and I was like, oh, I'm going to watch this. And then I'm laughing. and then I'm forgetting there's cars moving ahead of me, and I'm like, oh, I gotta move.
And then you time someone out.
And then that's when you start timing people out.
And then I time somebody out.
Well,
Unbelievable.
Jeff accidentally deleted one of his comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get better at
It's,
this.
it's good
at
to have
some
our
point.
Mac. It's good
yeah.
to have our Mac back.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we can laugh at each other for it. So
That's
we're
right.
still having fun.
That's right.
So today, this was a good stream.
Yeah.
Thanks, mods.
And the Avengers win at the end. Tony Stark nuke up in the
And they go for shawarma. And Disney Dan, if you're watching this,
the
I
end.
would love to eat some shawarma with you because he loves shawarma.
Yeah.
Shawarma.
Shawarma.
Once again, thank you all for being here. We will see you next week at 4:00 on Tracy's
Tracy.
channel.
Yes. Iron
Discussing
Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
Everybody.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3. All righty.
All right.
So thank you all so much. We appreciate you being here. Have a great
Rest
week.
of your day.
It's Sunday already. Our whole week is driving. So,
That means tomorrow's Monday.
yeah.
Ugh.
All right.
Bye,
Well,
everyone.
and try to enjoy your week. We'll see you next weekend.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.